I've been reading this book, my book of the year so far, Everyone's Still Here. Notice that unusual term, reading? Apparently, numbers reading for pleasure is at an all-time low. Gen Z are too busy to, and happily married to their thumb. This book is fiction, 150 pages, 6 short stories. The author remains anonymous and is non-binary, which comes across in it. It is set in the north of Ireland at an absolutely pivotal time, created through years of resistance to end the occupation and launch the possibility for a new, more equal society. Here's my flavour of what it's about. What does an Englishman never say to an Irishman, or a woman for that matter? I'm sorry for your troubles. Why? Because they caused them. Now that's troubling. Now the book itself, a warning. If you want curated slop or only what you already know, go read an English novel or watch celebrity masturbation. This, by contrast, is absorbing, compelling, intelligence at work, which demands and rewards active reading, and, as in ordinary life, it refuses neat resolution. The author has a beautifully assured observational wit in how they describe interpersonal snagging intentions and people sighing like supplicants in a lived discomfort, the source of which evades them and leaves them unbalanced. A constant feature is being other and being othered, always being somehow outside. There's a lot of searching for who I am and who is my family. The author says, I think it's important, I don't know why, but they do, and they leave it to the reader to figure that out for themselves. It also has an unforgiving, bulletproof ending. So how to read it? Note the reviewer's praise gush, astonishing skill, poised, precise, powerful, but ignore their lazy framing. Quote, it addresses the still open wounds of Northern Ireland's bloody sectarian conflict, which is to miss entirely the core of the book, which is the cost of not recognizing the consequence of an unfinished struggle for independence, both at an individual and social political level. One benefit of reading good stuff is it makes the reader more creative. So here's 2 ideas I've called political diseases. 1, Dowell na Sassenach, English historical blindness, live rounds of oppressors' self-justification of years of historical abuse, and then blaming those resisting it for causing it. And 2, colonial leprosy. Apparently, despite the deformity of the disease, its progressive devastation was linked to the patient's inability to feel pain. Colonial leprosy means those causing it, the North of Ireland's disease, colonialism, don't feel the pain they impose on others while denying its remedy and admission of their guilt. Oh, these function at both an individual, for example, we could call the first self-blindness, and political social level, and each has a known vaccination, though not yet applied. So, read this if you're English, that is, know nothing about Ireland, or if you're from the Irish Free State, yet forgot how that became free, and say, oh, the North has nothing to do with me, or bury your face in your elbow when somebody says, I am an Irish Republican, I come from the Republic of Ireland, is Éireannach Misha, la Prabin Cree. By the 5th story, things avoided become explicit. Watch out for Donald's List, an intro to the final story, a threnody for those we must remember. It reverberates a thunderous rifle shot ricochet that everyone can still hear. The living, the dead, and the unhonoured dead. It ends in unending, unfinished business, a fiction that makes facts bloom and makes change urgent. Finally, this book will win prizes if an awarding panel has the guts to do so. Good reading. Tell us what you think.